Taking and paying bets. The take and pay procedure will be performed many times per shift whenever a dealer wins or loses. Always make sure to start at the bet furthest to the right and go to the left. Compare the player's cards to your cards one at a time before moving on to the next hand. Always re-look at the player's cards and mentally double check to make sure that you counted right. If the player loses, take the money first, as many checks as you can hold, and then put them in your rack. After all the bets have been gone through, pick up the cards. Sort the checks out after you have put the cards in the discard rack. Never sort through the checks on the table. If the player wins, pay the bet first. There are two different ways of paying the bet. The simplest way is called color for color, or you can convert. Pay all bets in the circle. Payoffs must touch all winning wagers. Double downs and splits may be paid outside the circle for clarity. After all the bets have been gone through, pick up the cards. Color for color. This term means you pay a uniform stack of checks with the same color and same amount of checks. Never touch or mess with the player's checks if you are paying color for color. There are times when paying color for color is inappropriate. One of those times is when a player already has a large stack or multiple stacks of the same color. This is a time where you want to convert. If you have a choice of color for color or conversions, then you want to go with color for color. This is the preferred choice for break-in dealers. Never throw or slide the checks at the player. Never leave part of a payoff with the player. If an incorrect amount is paid, bring the entire payoff back to the tray and then come back with the correct amount. When making payoffs, do not pass checks from one hand to the other. All payoffs must be made on the side of the bet. Never pay behind the bet and never pay on top of the cards. Only touch the player's bet to straighten the stack out before you start dealing. Read a bet that is over 5 checks, or break down a multicolor bet. Converting checks. This is a term used when a player has multiple checks of the same color and the dealer wants to pay that bet with a larger denomination. Make sure you are comfortable before you try conversions and convert only when necessary. It's not a good idea to try this if you're not comfortable with it. For example, if you give the player $50 but forget to take back $10, you would be giving him a larger payoff, which makes it look like you're cheating, and you could get fired. Do not convert a player into $500 denominations or above without the consent of the floorman. When is it appropriate to convert? When the dealer's rack is very low on one denomination and you're waiting for a fill. When the player is betting more than 5 checks of one color, and when the player has a large amount of the same color checks. Dirty money. This is a term used for checks that have previously been in play and have lost. Never pay a bet with dirty money. Instead, put the dirty money in a tube in your rack and then pay with clean money, which is checks taken out of the rack that haven't been used in this hand. This helps, too, if there is ever a problem with a bet. The floorman knows what direction you pick up the money, and since the highest amount is on bottom, a floorman knows which bet is whose without having to call the cameras.